Good evening, all the joinees. Thank you for being here. This is Jaita. I would like to welcome you all on behalf of NGEN Research to this webinar session. Meanwhile, others join. Let us see what we are going to cover in today's webinar. Our topic for today is mutual fund holdings analysis. First, we will be covering month-on-month holdings changes on the overall mutual fund portfolio. Then I will describe the month-on-month holdings changes as per SEBI category-wise. We will also understand what is the trend of the mutual fund investments in different sectors as well as stocks. Second, we will look at the asset allocation of a single fund where we will see the security and sector holdings changes on month-on-month basis. Third, we will view the asset allocation of our portfolio and understand the portfolio exposure. And last, the forum will be open for topic-specific Q&A. So now I go to NGEN Markets portal. You can see the overview section of Markets tab, and this is our landing page. For today's webinar topic, I go to the Funds tab, and under this Funds tab, you can see the first tab is Screen tab. Now I directly go to the Holdings Analysis tab, and under this tab, you can see there are 4 sub-tabs. The first sub-tab is Sector Changes. Second sub-tab is Stock Changes. Third sub-tab is Equity Holdings. And fourth sub-tab is Debt Holdings. Now under the Sector Changes sub-tab, you can see Check Funds with Asset Class. It is showing for Equity Asset Class. So you can select on this drop down and you can take any another asset class from this section. Now, if you see the sector names on this left hand side and on the right hand side, you can see historical 12 months period. So we have this period since April 2025 to March 2026. So right now we can see all equity asset class funds sector holdings data on these 12 months on these color coded columns. Now you can see the number of funds in consideration is showing in a blue color row, and it is showing for 912 funds as on April 2025, and the fund count has increased to March month as 1076. So now you can see the bank sector holding for March month was 22.28%. The February month holdings for bank sector was 23.02%. So there is a reduction in bank sector holdings on March month, and that is the reason the March month cell is showing in pink color. The January month holdings for bank sector was 22.87%, and there is an increase in February month for bank sector holding, and that is the reason the February month cell is green color. Now, under this equity asset class, you can check the sector holdings data for any specific SEBI category. So for that, you can go to this check funds with SEBI category section, and here you can click and you can see all the SEBI categories under equity asset class. For example, I am taking large cap category. So now you can see the number of funds in consideration is showing as 35 on April 2025, and the fund count has increased to 36 on March 2026. Now you can see the bank sector holding for March month was 24.74%, and the February month holdings for bank sector was 26.19%. So there is a decrease in March month for bank sector holdings for large cap schemes. Now, if you click on this 24.74%, you can see a window opens up, And here you can see the large cap schemes percentage holdings in bank sector. And then you can see the amount investment in bank sector. So now if you wish to see that how do we derive at this 24.74% figure, then you can simply click on this cell and you need to take the average of these percentage holdings of these 36 large cap funds in bank sector, and then you will get the 24.74% figure. So now here, if you wish to know that which mutual fund has the highest investment in bank sector, you can simply sort this amount column in a descending order, and you can see that ICICI large cap has highest investment in bank sector for 15,876 crores. So now I can click on any large cap fund name from this section. So I am clicking on this Sundaram large cap fund. And now you can see the single fund analysis opens up in a new tab. And here on this fund performance tab, first you will see this fund's performance with a benchmark. Next, I will go to the asset allocation tab. And under this asset allocation, you can see overview tab is the first tab. Under this overview tab, you can see the equity exposure of Sundaram large cap was 96.59%. The debt exposure is 1.02%. Cash exposure is 2.54%. And derivatives exposure is negative 0.15%. You can see the holdings details of Sundaram large cap fund on this section. And you can see this data is showing you for March 2026. If you wish to download this holdings data for the Sundaram large cap fund, you can click on this table icon to download the holdings data. Now you can also click on this broken down holdings option. And now you can see that this Sundaram large cap fund is holding Sundaram liquid fund in its portfolio by 0.87%. So I now close this and then I will go to the position changes by month tab. So here you can see showing changes reported on March month versus the previous month. So here we are showing you the largest increases and largest decreases data for March month in comparison with the previous month, that is February month. So now you can see the largest increase was done for Sun Pharma Industries by 0.48% on March month in comparison with February month. And the largest decrease was done for HDFC Bank by negative 0.65% on March month in comparison with February month. And on the right hand side, you can see the position added section where you can see the positions which were added on March month. And under this position removed section, you can see the positions which were removed on March month. So you can see this data in our platform for past 12 months period. So you can click on this drop down and you can select any other month. For example, I am taking December month. Now you can see on December month, the largest increase was done for Axis Bank by 1.96% in comparison with November month. And the largest decrease was done for ICICI Bank by negative 2.20% on December month in comparison with November month. And on the right hand side, you can see two positions which were added on December month and one position was removed on December month. Now I go to the next tab, which is positions over time. So here you can see the holdings over past few months in terms of percentage. So we are on this percentage option. That is the reason we can see all of these security holdings data in terms of percentage. So you can see the security names on this security column. Next, on this sector column, you can see the sector name of these security. And then on the right hand side, you can see the historical 12 months period. So now you can see for this ICICI Bank stock. So this stock holdings for March month was 7%. And the February month holdings for ICICI Bank was 7.13%. So there is a reduction in ICICI Bank holdings on March month. If you look at the January month holdings for ICICI Bank, you can see it is 6.95%. So there is a increase in February month of ICICI Bank holdings in comparison with January month, and that is the reason the February month data is showing in a green color. So now when you look at this increase decrease data for any stock, you will like to know what is the reason behind this increase or decrease. So there can be two reasons. Number one reason can be mark to market gain or loss, and number two reason can be the buying or selling of a stock. So to understand the reason, you will change this percentage option to shares in lakhs option, and now you can look at ICICI Bank stock. So now you can see that on December month, the total number of shareholdings for ICICI Bank was 16.77 lakhs. And after December month, there was no buying or selling happened till March 2026. So now if you click on this ICICI Bank stock name, the single stock analysis opens up in a new tab. First, on this stock price tab, you can check the stock price of ICICI Bank on this line chart graph. So for that, I will remove Nifty 50 index from the line chart, and then I will zoom this ICICI Bank stock price line chart. So I will show you the 27 February 2026 date, and you can see that on this date, the stock price of ICICI Bank was 1,379, and the stock price has reduced to 31st March as 1,205 rupees. So there is a reduction in stock price, and that is the reason the holdings of ICICI Bank was decreased on March month in comparison with February month. So now we can go to the buy sector toggle button to check the sector holdings changes for Sundaram Large Cap Fund. So the first sector is bank sector, and you can see the bank sector holdings on March month was 30.57%. So the bank sector holdings was decreased in March month in comparison with February month. The next sector is IT software sector. The IT software sector holdings was increased in March month in comparison with February month. So now I go back to main platform tab, and here I will go to the second sub tab, which is stock changes tab. So here you can see check funds with asset class, and it is showing for equity asset class. And on the screen, we are showing you all large cap stocks. But if you wish to check this stock holdings data for any another mid cap or small cap stock, you can select your market capitalization from this drop down. So currently, we are showing you all equity asset class funds holdings on these large cap stocks for last 12 months period on these color coded columns. So now you can see the March month holdings for HDFC Bank was 7.37%. And the February month holdings for HDFC Bank stock was 7.69%. So if you click on this 7.37%, you can see the list of 544 equity asset class funds, and you can see their percentage holdings in HDFC Bank stock. Next on this, you can see the amount investment in HDFC Bank. And next on this shares column, you can see the total number of shareholdings in HDFC Bank stock. So now you can check this increase decrease data in terms of percentage. Also, you can see this data in terms of value. So if you wish to see that what is the total value increase or decrease in any stock in these last 12 months period, you can also see that. Now you can also change this to shares toggle, and you can see the total number of shareholdings in these large cap stocks. So for example, if I check this for HDFC Bank stock, you can see that on June 2025, the shareholding of HDFC Bank was 13,749 lakhs. And after June 2025, there was buying in HDFC Bank stock. And currently we are on this March 2026. And as on March 2026, the total number of shareholdings for HDFC Bank was 13,073 lakhs. So here, if you wish to see the total number of funds that has invested in these large cap stocks in any fund, then you can click on this show fund counts checkbox. So you can see the total number of funds. Now, next subtab is equity holdings. So here you can quickly search a stock name and you can find out which mutual funds has holdings in that stock in the last month. By default, you can check this data for HDFC Bank. But if you wish to check this for any IPO which was launched in 2025, you can also search that. So I am searching for HDB Financial Services. Now you can see that 5,817 crores was invested by 119 funds in HDB Financial Services. So on the scheme name section, you can see the list of 119 mutual funds list. On this holding percentage column, you can see all of these funds holdings percent in HDB Financial Services. Next, on this fund AUM column, you can see the AUM size of the fund. And next column will show you the amount investment in HDB Financial Services. And next, you can see the historical 1 month, 6 months, and 1 year period return. So now let's take an example for HSBC focused fund. So this fund has invested 2.63% of its AUM size into HDB Financial Services. The AUM size of the fund is 1,491 crores. Out of this 1,491 crores, the fund has invested 39.20 crores in HDB Financial Services. And now you can see the last 1 month return of HSBC focused fund was 7.84%. The 6 months return was negative 0.69% and 1 year return was 7.98%. So here you can see this data for active and passive funds. But if you wish to check this data for only active funds,
Sorry, there was a power issue. So sorry. Jaita, you can continue.
yes. So if you now look at this left hand side, here
Um,
you can see top
one
5.
small query in this section.
Yes, sir. We will take the query after the webinar, sir. It's not over yet, sir. Just give us.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
So now if you look at this left hand side, here you can see top 5 sectors invested by mutual funds. So if you hover your cursor on this pie chart, you will see those sectors where mutual funds are heavily invested. And below, you can see top 25 stocks held by open-ended funds. So here you can see the list of those stocks where mutual funds investment amount and the total number of funds that has invested in these stocks. If you wish to download this data in an Excel, you can do that by clicking on this Excel icon. The next subtab is debt holdings. So here you can search any security name or any ISIN and you can find out which mutual funds has holdings in that security. So now I will search for JSW security. So now you can see the mutual funds that has holdings in JSW security. Under this rating column, you can see the ratings of the security. And next on this holding percentage column, you can see the holdings of this security in this mutual fund. And next you can see the AUM size of these funds. And next you can see the amount investment by these funds into JSW security under this holdings in column. And next you can see the historical returns data for 1 month, 6 months and 1 year period. So now I will go to the portfolio tab and I will run a model portfolio. So I click on this down arrow and now I click on run. So the portfolio analysis is run for this model portfolio. The first parameter of portfolio analysis is asset allocation. Under the asset allocation, you can check the portfolio exposures. So under this overview column, you can see the gross equity exposure of your portfolio. Short equity exposure of your portfolio. So if you have any short positions in your portfolio, you can check that separately under this short equity exposure. And then you will see the net equity exposure of your portfolio. So if you click on this net equity bar, you will see the portfolio net equity exposures. The ICICI Bank exposure in this portfolio is 3.18%. Now, if you click on this eye icon, you can see the ICICI Bank detailed exposure. So the first fund is Nippon Multicap Fund. The fund's allocation in your portfolio is 10%. And the fund has invested 4.45% of its AUM size into ICICI Bank. And that is the reason from Nippon Multicap Fund, 0.45% ICICI Bank exposure is coming in the portfolio. The second fund is ICICI Opportunities Fund. This fund's allocation in your portfolio is also 10%. And you can see that the fund is holding a short position of ICICI Bank by 0.45%. And you can see there is a short position, short exposure of ICICI Bank is coming in the portfolio as negative 0.05%. And the fund is holding a long position of ICICI Bank by 5.67%. And the long exposure of ICICI Bank is 0.57%. So if you calculate all these exposure, you will get this 3.18% figure. Now you can go to the debt bar and you can check the debt exposure of your portfolio. So the debt exposure is 10.31% and you can click on any eye icon to check the detailed debt exposure. You can also see the cash exposure of 3.04% in the portfolio. Next, you can see the gold exposure of 9.86%. Derivatives exposure as 2.17%, REITs exposure of 0.48%, and other exposure is showing as 0.30%. Next is concentration tab. So here we are showing you the concentration of your portfolio. So you can see your portfolio's top 3 holdings concentration, top 5 holdings, top 10 and top 20 holdings concentration. So the portfolio is concentrated by 13.40% into top 3 holdings. If you want to know what are your top 3 holdings, you can go to the overview tab and you can click on show all and you can see your top 3 holdings of your portfolio. So this gold and trips exposure are the top 3 holdings. Next, on this concentration tab, you can see the equity market cap exposure as percentage of total portfolio. So you can see the large cap exposure is 41.59%, the small cap exposure is 19.92%, mid cap exposure is 14.33%, and other exposure is 24%. Now, if you want to know that what do we consider under other exposure, you can go to the overview section and you can see that apart from this net equity exposure, everything which is debt, cash, gold, derivatives, rates, other, all of these are coming under other exposure of 24%. So you can also see this data in terms of percentage of equity exposure. So for that, you can change the drop down to percentage of equity exposure, and now you can see the bifurcation of large cap, mid cap, and small cap exposure of your portfolio. The next tab is AMC exposure. So here you can see the AMC exposures of your portfolio. After that, you can check the asset class exposure of your portfolio on the pie chart. And on this fund category exposure, you can see the each SEBI category exposure of your portfolio. Next, under this equity sectors tab, you can check your portfolio's sector exposure data. If you wish to download this data, you can do that by clicking on this CSV icon. On the left hand side, you will see your top 10 equity sectors. So if you see that the bank sector exposure in this portfolio is 11.30% and healthcare exposure is 2.41%. If you click on this healthcare bar, you will see all healthcare stocks of your portfolio and the holdings of healthcare stocks. Next, you can go to this debt bar and you can check the portfolio credit ratings of the security, average maturity, duration, YTM, and below you can see the debt sector exposures. You can also download this debt sector exposure in an Excel file. All right, that's about it from my side for the topic specific webinar discussion. Now the forum is open for topic specific Q&A. Please ask your question either unmuting yourself or typing in the chat box.
Hi.
Yes, hi.
Yeah. Can you please go to the funds and equity holdings section?
Equity holding.
Yeah. Yeah. So now let's say this is all for HDFC, right? Now, what do these percentages mean? Like the 1 month, 6 months, and 1 year?
Yeah, these are the fund performance. 1 year, 6 months, and 1 year. 1 month, 6 months, and 1 year. Fund performance.
Or just fund, right? Not
Yeah.
not the HDFC contribution or anything, right?
No, no, no. This is only a fund performance.
Okay. And I have one query which is not related to today's topic. Can I put it now or later?
You for specific for that query, you can just give your number on chat box. We will connect you separately for that. We can give you a whole bunch of training for that if you want to.
Not
One-on-one.
training as such. Like so, in the last call, the fund of fund discussion has happened.
Right.
Engine has resolved it, but
Yeah,
there is
we are working on that part, sir, currently. We are working on and we are going through some updates for FOFs basically.
no, that has been sorted. But there is one. Okay. Anyways, please let me know whom to contact, and then I'll contact accordingly.
Just put your phone number on chat box if possible.
Sure, sure. I'm putting it right
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. Nothing from mine.
Yeah. Any further questions? You can type this on chat box or even you can unmute yourself. So we have a question on the in the chat box: how to filter passive fund investment in a specific security. Sir, can you unmute yourself and elaborate it, please?
Hi.
Yeah, hi, sir.
Uh, yeah, here it's showing as a fund regular growth something and all. We first check as for example in HDFC Bank, what all are the passive funds investment as and date can we take? Can we filter it if it's possible?
Yes, sir. Actually, we have given an option on the top. You can see ignore ETFs and index funds.
Okay.
Once you select it, it will ignore all the ETFs and index fund from that list. If you deselect it, it will give you all the funds which are holding HDFC in their portfolio. Can you please deselect it, Jaita? Yes. So you can see 119 funds are there, including
Okay.
ETFs, index funds, and active and passive both combined.
Well, actually, I want to know that if minus it is coming, fine. My say is if I ignore ETF is there, na, only ETF can we able to select? Is it possible? Only ETF. This only ignore ETF and the index fund is there, na.
Right.
In that case, total fund is there. On that, you are ignoring index ETF and index funds. Correct? Correct.
Right.
My say is I want only index fund investment in HDFC Bank. Is it possible?
So you can do that through Excel sheet. We have given an
Oh,
option to
only
for
okay.
Excel sheet, but
Okay.
we will take this as a feedback so that we can give you both the options from our end. Okay, if
Yeah.
possible.
Okay. 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 Yeah, okay.
But you can take an Excel sheet, of course, from the
Yeah.
system.
In
You can see
Excel
on
we
the
can do
Excel.
no problem.
Yes, yes, yes.
Excel we
But
can.
we are giving you all the data in one screen, basically.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
नहीं आपको hello hello
Yes, yes, sir.
can you show me the clients this one portfolio individual stock wise?
Sorry, sir. You want portfolio level analysis, right?
Yeah, and the stock wise.
Yes, sir. You can run a portfolio, Jaita, please. Which you are run, yes. On the asset allocation overview, sir. This all things are then in the overall portfolio which we have run here as per the weight.
So this is for the some client where they are having the gold exposure, equity and equity in that ICICI Bank put together all their funds.
Exactly. You can click on the I button. So for example, if you click on I button, any of yeah, ICICI Bank, all of this fund giving some exposure towards ICICI Bank in your portfolio with the weight.
Okay. And actually I was doing this for some of my clients. Either it was actually it should be 100% if you add the percentage of everything. But either it was coming some of the portfolio, it is 101, 102, and sometimes it is 98, 99, something like that. So why it is so? It should be actually, if we add, it should be 100%.
Okay, sir. Can you like we have to check the portfolio? What's the component in the
Or
portfolio for
either
that?
it should
Yeah.
not go beyond 100. But for that client, it was coming 102%. I can separately email you that screenshot.
Yes, sir. That will be great, sir. If you just put your email, your phone number there, we will connect you and we will see the why it is coming in that way.
Okay, okay, I
Yeah,
will put, I
yeah.
will put.
Please do that.
Any more questions? Joyda, if there is no more questions, if you can close it for the day.
Yes, all right. You can view the recording of this session as well as our previous session webinar on our YouTube channel. Please click on this YouTube video icon. It will take you to the YouTube video page. There is a dedicated playlist of our webinar topics. Even this week's webinar will be uploaded by next week. So you can go to this video section and you can check out the videos. Thank you for joining. Have a great weekend ahead.